subjects will be deprived of sleep for 30 consecutive days. This experiment is designed to test the limits of mental endurance and push the boundaries of human evolution. Better safe than sorry.
Things are deteriorating quickly and everything has become seemingly impossible.
Ask yourself this question. Do you trust Igor?
No.
I'm not a lab rat!
This is science.
This is madness.
What are you doing?
Anna, Leo, would you like to go to the heavens with me?
Carl here from Brrraaains Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. And it's horror movie review time. Have you heard the story about the Soviet experiment in the late 1940s that was designed to test the limits of the human mind and body when deprived of sleep? Supposedly, using a stimulant gas, the Russians conducted this experiment on several subjects and the results were horrific. Chances are you have heard this story. I certainly had. But is it true? Short answer, no. No, it's not. It's a story that originated on a creepypasta wiki posted in 2010 by a user named Orange Soda. It's not impossible to believe though, is it? Like, you could be convinced that something like this has happened in the world, which is where the Soviet sleep experiment comes in, turning the effective creepypasta story, because it's short and imaginative, into a dull, bland and unimaginative horror watch. Yes, I did not enjoy this one. From writer Michael Patrick McCaffrey and director Barry Anderson, the Soviet sleep experiment tries to tell the same creepypasta story, but from a more psychological point of view. Dr. Anna Antonov, played by Eva Di Domenicia, and her husband, Dr. Leo Antonov, Raphael Zaryuchia, are two scientists tasked with conducting the secret Soviet experiment. In an underground bunker, a group of test subjects are placed inside a small, sealed tank-like structure where they'll be deprived of sleep for 30 days. During this time period, they'll be tested by the doctors to see how their mental state deteriorates, all under the watchful eye of Captain Yegor Sokolov, played by Evgeny Krutov. What they hope to achieve from this experiment is a bit of a mystery to Anna and Leo, but they understand not to ask too many questions. That is until Leo starts to suspect that he knows one of the patients, subject 3 specifically, played by Chris Kattan, and his paranoia, made worse by his own issues with sleep, result in him suspecting something far more sinister is going on. There are so many different routes that the Soviet sleep experiment could have gone in to make for a much more interesting watch. Routes that involve a more psychologically damaging experience, routes that involve a more visceral level of horror, and routes that involve a real sense of control from the Soviet military. Every so often, it feels like it might be exploring these avenues in interesting ways, but it always pulls back and refocuses on the blandness of the overarching experiment. The lack of imagination here is quite something, and while some aspects can be forgiven because of the budget, the film really doesn't do anything with the blank slate it has to hand. This should have had some extreme gore, but it's surprisingly tame. The same goes for the psychological aspect, where no one ever actually really feels like they're going mad. It's a character issue, and an acting issue too, with many of the cast putting on bog standard Russian accents and sleepwalking their way through the empty dialogue. There's nobody to care about, nobody to get invested in, and nobody who lights up the screen. This, when combined with its unimpressive story and total lack of creativity, results in a film that is not worth staying awake for. It is the Soviet sleep experiment. I found it to be boring and bland and uninteresting, but maybe you got different thoughts on it. You know what to do. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.